And three, two, one. Welcome back, everyone. This is Aluminum Tarot. Thanks so much for joining today. We are going to be reading some quick sign messages, normally about 5 to 10 minutes per sign. I'm going to go ahead and start with Aries going all the way to Pisces. So, as always, the order of the day is if you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so that you don't miss any updates on future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies, feel free to reach out to me at the information provided in the description box below. Now, just as a word of warning, I did record Aries through Virgo, and unfortunately, I just didn't feel comfortable with the quality of the recording itself. So I wanted to do a re-recording. So that's been kind of a bit of the delay that's taken place with the timeliness of these readings. However, what I will say is I am doing this now in a very esoteric space. It's a very nice shop here based in Liverpool. It's called the Witch House. It's a kind of esoteric emporium, if you want to call it that, also mixed with a cafe. So we'll be joined by a lovely cappuccino here. So again, that's going to be like in Crosby, Merseyside area. It's a beautiful, beautiful shop. So yeah, I'll go ahead and put the information of that in the description box below as well. Special after visiting my good friend Mappy back in London. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'll just do these as quickly as possible. Aries going all the way to Pisces. So that way everyone has something. Timestamps will also be included at the bottom as well. So let's get started. Hope everyone's doing well. We do have a, what is that? Full moon in Aries. We're going to have that on the 17th. So we're going to start with Aries to begin with that. I'll probably do a full moon reading as well. That will probably be a very short one too. So what's coming up for Aries? Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. By the way, I'm using a new deck here. This is a deck that was given to me as a gift when I was in my visit in Richmond. A backup in the Yorkshire Dales kind of goes along with the tattoo, so that helps out quite a bit. So anyways, Aries, what's the first thing you need to know? What is the second thing Aries needs to know? And what is the third thing Aries needs to know? What is the penultimate part of the reading? So what we have here, Aries, we have a period in which you have been going through quite a bit of competition, battle, also a lot of head and mind games. This is the Five of Swords as the main energy for the reading for this particular time. What we do have here at the recent past, we did have a Six of Pentacles in the reverse, which indicates that you're no longer giving to that struggle. You are now moving into an energy that is going to be more conducive, a little bit more stable, and I guess happier is the information I want to tell you, because we do have the Four of Wands as the current energy. So what I see you doing is that you're moving away from a period of conflict, strife, and negativity, going into the, Six of Pentacles in the reverse in the recent past, which means that you're no longer giving your time, energy, assets, and resources to that conflict. You are then moving further into the Four of Wands, which is your current energy, which means that you're giving stability. It's kind of the 11-11 card, which means that you're trying to turn over a new leaf, moving forward into a more conducive energy, or maybe moving into a next milestone or cycle within your life. And what I see here is that at the final, or the penultimate part of this outcome, we have the Five of Cups in the reverse, which means that you'll finally be getting over the disappointment and the strife linked to the struggles that you've had. What is the struggle about? Can we tell us about that? So it's Two of Swords. There could have been a period of indecision, an impasse between two people and their ideologies. So maybe you had been struggling with a little bit of issues at work, or possibly in a relationship in which you and another person, or you and an entity that you were working with, gave you a bit of trouble and no longer allowed you to reach a compromise that was essential for you to eliminate a lot of this strife. So that is for Aries. We're going to move straight into Taurus. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What does Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising need to know at this particular moment? What does Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising need to know at this moment? You know, when I did the first readings, I just felt there was something really off about the energies at the place that I was reading there. I felt rushed. I felt like I didn't have the right resources for it. So sometimes it's better to wait until the right time comes up. So now I'm in a much better space. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What's the first thing Taurus needs to know? Sun, good. And what's the third? I think you had the Seven of Pentacles last time. So, what is the overall energy for Taurus? So, we have here Seven of Cups is the main energy for this reading for Taurus. What this talks about is no longer feeling like you have a lack of clarity or a lack of focus within something that you have been pursuing. What was it, what that Taurus has been pursuing for this reading? So King of Wands is you trying to get into something a bit more entrepreneurial or possibly stepping up and taking a leadership role within a new kind of venture. So I get business vibes from this. Me being a Taurus, I can kind of understand how this is working in my own specific life, which is a very good thing. So now you're trying to get very clear, get very focused and grounded on what it is that you want to pursue. That is going to give you a bit more passionate pursuit in your life, something where you can step into a role of authority and leadership again, as I said before. So in the recent past, you had the Sun. So this means that you've had some clarity based on some of the things that have come to you. Normally, the Sun is a period of illumination and also happiness, vitality, love, joy, things of that nature. But what I'm getting from here, if I was to clarify, what is the Sun about? So Seven of Wands. So this is about releasing a kind of situation in your life where you felt that you were constantly battling, constantly competing with other people, trying to defend your post constantly. And what it can do, it can make you feel drained and lose that vitality. So the Sun is finally coming back into your specific past. Now we have the Page of Swords. We noticed that the Page of Swords is all about, getting the first steps in research, clarity, understanding what steps you need to take next in your life. So you're gathering a lot of information, doing a lot of research. You're also stepping into the fore in which you are embarking on a journey, which normally we have with the court cards. We go from the page all the way to the king in terms of maturity or in terms of expression of a kind of modality, whether that's male or female energy. So pages are usually the most immature, but it also means that's this one of the starts. You have the ace. So if you would have the Ace of Swords, that would mean that you have the opportunity to take that route. The Page of Swords takes that ace and then they run with it and they become masters of that energy or that modality as time passes. So you're taking the sword, that clarity of truth and wisdom that you recently received, and now you're beginning to develop your skill and your craft along with that. So it's about learning how to communicate effectively, it's learning how to do your research, and learning how to understand even some of the painful truths that you need to learn about yourself. So this is you getting clear. That plays into the recent past with the Sun that came up. So now you finally, in the near future, in the penultimate part of this, you have the Hangman reverse, which means that you're getting out of a stagnant situation. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles here, which both came out. So I see you moving from the Seven of Pentacles, which is a period of introspection about your material assets and things that you hold. And then finally moving into the Hangman reverse, which is getting unstuck. from that period. And so that's basically what I see going on with you. Thank you so much, Taurus, for joining. We are going to move now into Gemini. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I really like this deck, by the way. It shuffles so well. Thank you to Serendipity Dreams for that lovely gift. I really, really appreciate that. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What does Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising need to know about their particular lot in life at this current moment? All right. First card for Gemini. Second card. And third card. What is the overall energy? Two cards wanted to come out. So the overall energy, what you've got here is the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, both in the reverse. We do talk a lot about, with the Six of Pentacles, what you are willing to give and receive, and in the reverse, this means that this is no longer taking place. Or maybe you might just be giving to yourself a little bit more. You may want to just start taking your resources and use them within your internal processes, which is kind of a bit more self-care. The reason why I say that is because towards the end, the penultimate outcome of this reading is about the Queen of Pentacles, which is you stepping into your kind of a feminine energy on the material level and being able to nurture some of those qualities, nurture some of the assets, the physical resources that you have, be focusing on yourself, working on your health, your fitness routines, things of that nature. It could be nurturing a project that you really want to focus on that will have long-term growth. So it's the motherly receptivity to the Ace of Pentacles that you've received in the recent past, which when you receive the Ace of Pentacles, then again, it goes through that process of going from the page to the knight, to the queen, to the king. So Six of Pentacles coupled with the Two of Wands is that you finally, you've made a decision, a choice to do this. So maybe in the recent past, you've had something happen to you where you have wanted to finally step into your own power and say, okay, maybe I need to take some time off, focus on myself, and just move into a space in which I can feel a bit more nurtured, a bit more rested, feeling a little bit healthier. You could have suffered a health setback. You could have had a bit of stressful periods, so mental and physical health are going to be very important to you. At this point, the reason why in the recent past you had the Magician reversed, I can go ahead and clarify that. That is with the Six of Wands. So maybe that you felt that in the recent past, with the Magician reversed and the Six of Wands, you had a period where you felt like a failure at something, or that you cannot manifest or materialize something that you really wanted. And doing this, that could put a massive knock on your, the way you see yourself and your capabilities. Or maybe you strained yourself or caused a bit of difficulties for you in the pursuit of this issue. So say, for example, you were looking for jobs, you realized that it was difficult for you to manifest this. You felt like there was a constant series of failures that then manifested into either health issues or potentially a lot of stress in which you needed to extricate yourself from that and then move into a bit more self-care for you. So the reason why we say that is because you have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is in the reverse in your current energy. It's about you learning how to move on into a better place, although for you that might come with a bit of difficulties in doing so. Why the Six of Swords in the reverse? It's because you have the King of Swords in the reverse. So you may have dealt with someone who was operating negatively with the sword energy, who was a master manipulator. So for you, for example, you may have dealt with a boss. You may have dealt with someone who was in a position of authority, leadership, but they absolutely abuse that power. Typically, the King of Swords is a person who's either narcissistic, they're a person who doesn't think clearly, makes poor decisions. They can also be a person who is very cutthroat, ruthless in the way that they wield that sword. So finally, you're taking a step back. You're in the Queen of Pentacles, nurturing your health, nurturing your wellness, and trying to get into a better position in your life in which you can now have new roots. You're actually kind of building those roots. And the reason why I say that is because you see the pentacle here is finally sprouting buds. And so it's kind of like you're germinating that new position in your life in which you can feel a little bit better about your health, wellness, and even the things that you give value to. So, for example, if you gave a previous position, like a work position or a relationship, more credence than your own self, it may have actually depleted you to the point where you actually were forced to go back and to, you know, go back to square one and focus on yourself, your health, your wealth, your assets and resources. So that's pretty much it for Gemini. Moving on to Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. How are you doing today, Cancerians? All right. Go and cut the deck. Okay. First thing for Cancers to know. Second thing for Cancers to know. Third thing for Cancerians to know. What is the overall energy? Okay, that's one of the cards actually in the deck that we don't need to. It's one of the introductory cards. Try that one again. Deck's a bit new, I apologize. I forgot to take out the instruction manuals. Okay, so we have the overall energy here is the Eight of Wands reversed. This is about not being able to make forward progress on something that's important to you. This comes after the period of the Seven of Wands in which you have to fight for a position in your life. But in the reverse, what it's telling you is that there's a false start. That could be an issue with not being able to move forward. Travel delays as well can take place because the Eight of Wands normally indicates kind of air travel. So what we have here in the recent past, we have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is the Playboy Playgirl card, if I like to call it that. Sometimes it can mean that there is a immaturity in the way that you go after pursuits. So oftentimes this represents people who go into sexual kind of endeavors. And what this talks about is doing this in a way that is very immature and childlike. So it's sleeping with a bunch of people. It can be saying one thing, doing another, having a lot of inconsistencies in the way that you approach the things that you pursue. So that's why it's the Playboy Playgirl kind of energy. But we're going to clarify that. Six of Pentacles. So either you were in this energy or someone that you know was in this energy, because the Knight is a court card and this indicates a person on a specific level of maturity. They are no longer giving to this, or you are no longer giving to this. And the reason why I say that is because you did get the Six of Pentacles clarifying that, but you also got the Fool in your current energy. So you are absolutely not taking any more risk when it comes to these types of these types of sexual or romantic pursuits. You realize that, hey, maybe you've been played a bit, or maybe you've been playing around a bit too much, and now it's affecting, your social circles, your own personal mental health, things of that nature. I can clarify the Fool. Yeah, it's left you stuck in a bit of limbo. So the Hangman, what you're doing right now is you're going in and you're internalizing everything that you've learned from these kind of how what's the best way to say it without sounding like a dick or anything, but basic um free spirited rendezvous, interests, and things like that. So you're now kind of either going back and trying to learn a little bit about what you have experienced, or maybe it's left you in a bit of a bind in which you're being forced now to sit and think about this, reflect on it before you take the next foolish leap. Because ironically, the Fool is Aries, the Hangman is Pisces energy. So it's almost like you've gone through that whole cycle of moving through the different zodiac houses, and now you're kept in the 12th house, which is essentially you reflecting and pausing on everything that has taken place. It's almost like a mini world card. Finally, we have the Ten of Wands. You are releasing the burden of something that you have been doing over the last few periods of time. So it's almost what I'm getting here is that you're putting the brakes on something. You're putting the brakes on something that you were doing in the past, which is now leading you to say, okay, maybe I need to focus on my worth a bit more. Maybe I need to focus on the actions that I have taken, which have led me to this current situation in my life. Because you do have Wands, Fool, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. These are action orientated cards, which then with the Eight of Wands, it can symbolize like putting the brakes on it. You're going to stop doing this, and then you're going to move on to something that will probably bear a little bit more fruit in the future, because I don't see any Pentacles cards here. So it's all about kind of like pursuit of passions. And it doesn't always have to be about sex. It could even be about endeavors that you've taken. It could be about the friends that you keep. It could also be about the types of things you invest in. But overall, it's time to get a bit more, more focused. Anyways, that's it. Moving on to Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. What does Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant need to learn for today? Cards are behaving so well. Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Right. First thing Leo needs to know. Second thing Leo needs to know. All right. Third thing Leo needs to know. Two cards have come out. Wow, interesting. This is really, really interesting. So, and the overall energy. So we have here Queen of Wands in the reversed, which is the overall energy for this reading. It talks a lot about you being able to understand how to be assertive, how to go after the things that you want and to pursue and attract those things. It's almost like mini Empress energy, but in the actions of taking, the action that you're taking to attract those things. Normally, the Queen of Wands in the upright is someone who is very attractive, very assertive, goes after what she wants, doesn't really care what other people think. Maybe now in this particular energy that you're in, you could either be doing this at an internal level, or you could lack the confidence and the skills needed for you to actually attract the things that you want. Clarify the Queen of Wands reverse. Yeah, the Hermit. So yeah, you may have taken a step back in order to kind of replenish your vitality, or to step within yourself to learn a few lessons that you need about the confidence that you can wield as a way of attracting those things in. Normally with the Empress, they don't really have to do much. So the Empress normally just attracts in, she has a scepter, she waves it, and then there's wheat at her feet that actually come into the fore. So she has this mastery of abundance, whereas the Queen of Wands, she's abundant in the sense that she's able to attract those things, she's able to allure, but she has to take the action to do that, being a Wands card. So right now what we have here is the Four of Cups as the thing that happened in the recent past, you missing out on a specific opportunity. What was that opportunity that came in? So Seven of Cups, I'm going to need to clarify that one more. And the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. With the Four of Cups in the reverse, clarified by the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. We have 4 plus 7, that's 11. That's Two of Cups in the reverse. No, So we have 7 minus 4. That's 3 of cups, and that's 3 of cups. So maybe what I'm getting intuitively is that you had the chance or the opportunity to receive something from your social networks, and that didn't go the way you wanted it to, and now you're kind of in this 9 of Pentacles energy in the reverse. So I'm getting that you missed out on an opportunity, which has now left you in a situation where your sense of self-worth or your finances, your personal assets, things of that nature, are a bit depleted, or you're having to work very, very hard for those things to materialize. So what we have here, we have the Chariot in your current energy. You're moving forward. You're moving forward actually quite quickly in order to get things back on the right track. The reason why you have the Six of Swords again in the reverse. I think Cancer had that energy, if I'm not mistaken. So it's almost like what I'm getting here is that the road is going to be difficult for you. However, you're going to take that leap forward. It's almost like you don't have much of a choice, because technically, when we look at the Rider-Waite deck, the we have the Chariot, where the Emperor is seated enthroned, being guided by the heavens, and the heavens are taking him out of his comfort zone. He is leaving the city that he has built and become familiar with over time. It's almost like a mini tower. Um, One second. All right. We're back now. Yeah, unfortunately, I have had a phone call come in, so I had to answer that. Unfortunately, it has cut the recording itself. So what I'm going to do now is try to splice the two videos together and see if that will work. Let's go ahead and we will move into the rest of the reading for Leo, and then I will just go ahead and carry on as normal. Anyways, we did have where are we? Let me get my brain together. Right. We had the Six of Swords in the reverse, clarifying the Chariot. So basically, this was talking about um, being able to move forward in something that was very difficult for you to do so. So maybe it's like you were forced to move on after a very difficult period in your life, and that felt at one point very, very challenging and rough and difficult for you to do. But you're you're managing to do so, um, and allowing yourself to go through kind of the emotions and the feelings in order to do that. Because the Six of Swords in the reverse normally indicates someone that is struggling to move on from something, but with the Chariot, it's like you have to do it, because Chariot normally also represents puberty. So it's the kind of place in which you move from childhood to adulthood, or like, your teenage years. And what this does is this tells us, this is a natural process that needs to take place. So finally, the penultimate outcome of all of this, we did have the sun and the moon in the reverse. And what this insinuates, because both of these cards came out at the same time, which is really, really interesting. The sun and the moon, both in the reverse, we talk about things not being clear in the sun in the reverse, and then the moon in the reverse indicates that you are getting clarity. So it's almost like the cards are flipped in the opposite direction. Sun usually indicates something is being revealed, and moon normally indicates it's being hidden. So the way that this has come out, you have the sun, which talks about maybe feeling a bit depleted throughout the whole process, and then finally moving into the moon reverse, which indicates that you're going to see a brighter day very, very soon. Normally, the moon gets its energy from the sun. So what I'm seeing here is that the sun is shining on this moon, but it is actually replenishing the new cycle that's going to take place in your life. The moon normally moves in cycles every 28 days. We're actually going to go into the moon in Aries on October 17th. So what that talks about is that after this period of feeling depleted, you are then going to move into a new cycle. I would say around the time of the full moon, which is going to take place tomorrow. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Virgo. We're going to go ahead and keep this train moving. Right. Good luck, Leos, because that can be a bit difficult, especially when you are kind of forced out of your comfort zone. But I'm sure that you're able to do it. Channel that fiery energy and keep it going. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising. What does Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising need to know? All right. Virgo, you're up now. What's the first thing Virgo needs to know? Death. Hooray. Second thing Virgo needs to know. Third thing that Virgo needs to know. No. Okay. All right. Not so bad. Took in a way that it needed to. So I'll explain once the cards are on the table. What is the overall energy? Eight of Swords. So we talk about bottom of the deck, Three of Pentacles. This is your card. This is all about working with other people, getting teamwork, and trying to use similar assets in order to accomplish a goal together with a group. So right now, the overall energy you have is the Eight of Swords. This can talk about a lot of mental conflict, mental anguish, things where you're kind of confining yourself, as opposed to the Nine of Swords, where it's kind of like it's coming into a cumulative head. Eight of Swords right here. What's causing this? It's the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So Cancer also, no, it was Leo who also had the Knight of Wands in the reverse. No, it was Cancer, the Knight of Wands in the reverse, which, in another context, can be about potentially not being able to make forward progress on something that you really want to do. So, with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, it can say that things are not moving along as you thought they would, or the destined path that you were going to take. So, what you're doing now is that you're trying to get things moving. So, we have firstly the Death card, which is in the recent past. So, you may have had a difficult cycle and one that seems to be taking a long time, slow, very arduous process. And what is the Death card related to? No, I just had that card. Eight of Wands. So Eight of Wands in the reverse. So again, finally an end to the stagnation that has been taking place in your life. So this is an excellent card. So if you're a Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, I'm a Virgo, Moon. Anyways, hopefully this has something to do or resonates with my own reading. But for all Virgos out there, I hope that this is for you as well. We have the Six of Cups. Finally, this means that you're moving from a place where you're no longer feeling stagnant. You are in the Six of Cups. You're being very kind of sentimental about the way that you're approaching your life. The Six of Cups normally talks about give and take, similarly to the Six of Pentacles, but it's in a very kind of, what can you say, nostalgic, reflecting on the past of all the things that you've done. The reason for this is because the Ten of Wands is in the reverse, clarifying that. So that is you finally having all those burdens released and then moving into a period in which you can actually feel more confident and feel like things are moving forward for you. With that Six of Cups, it's talking about you being able to no longer feel like you're in an Eight of Wands an Eight of Swords energy, but you're now finally feeling like all the things that you've done in the past have finally been able to leave those burdens. So then the last card, the one that flew out like crazy, is the Empress. This is an excellent card to have for a near future. This means that you're going to step into an energy where you are abundant. I think I remember just speaking about that to Cancer, where it was the Queen of Wands, which is normally the person who is able to, either Cancer or Leo, need to remember. But the Queen of Wands has to take decisive action in order to attract the things that she wants. However, the Empress simply waves her scepter and then she's able to grow the things that bring about stability. She is the master of all four suits. So she comes into this with the Empress card. And yeah, so I pulled the Six of Wands in the reverse, but I am under the impression that this needs to be in the upright because you are pulling the Empress. Um, Maybe in the past you felt like you had a few failures, but I think that with this Empress, you're going to feel finally like you have received success. So that's what I see here. That's the energy that I'm feeling here. Sometimes when the cards come out in the reverse, I need to make sure that they match the energies of the card that's come out, if it's a clarifier specifically. So good luck, Virgo. I hope all the best comes for you. And keep on. We've got Libra now. So Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So I have a huge stellium in Libra, by the way. And in my Vedic astrology, I am a Libra ascendant. And that was after getting a birth chart rectification. I'm now going back into more of the Sagittarius ascendant because I think the Sagittarius readings have been resonating quite a bit for me. First thing Libra needs to know. Second thing Libra needs to know. Third thing Libra needs to know. What is the overall energy about this reading? Six of Pentacles is coming out a lot for everyone. It's come out again as the main energy. Clarify the Six of Pentacles. Two sixes. So I have the Six of Pentacles clarified by the Six of Swords. Six of Swords in the upright, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. You are moving on from a difficult situation that you are no longer giving anything to. You've taken your energies back. You're kind of replenishing yourself, and you're moving on to this difficult journey. Normally, you're doing this after a long period of strife in which you have to leave everything behind. So typically after the Five of Swords, where you feel defeated, you're then moving into the Six of Swords, where you're taking whatever you have left and moving into the next phase of your life over the waters, from choppy waters to calmer waters, normally with the clothes on your back. So in the recent past, you had the Page of Wands. What this talks a lot about is a new adventure, a new spark, something that has stirred your interest and emotions, and you're going off on that. However, what I see here is that, maybe this could be in the upright where you had the Chariot, things are moving forward in your life, going into a new phase or a specific area or milestone of development, normally at the behest of the universe itself pushing you into that. However, what I see here is the Emperor, the current energy you have here is the Emperor reversed and the Page of, the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So with this, it feels like things have been spiraling out of control. So maybe that's the reason why the Emperor came out in the reverse. Things have spiraled out of control. And either A, you're having to focus on yourself a little bit more and pour the energy of the Ace of Cups back into yourself, or maybe you have felt emotionally drained from this. You do have the Emperor. So the Emperor could represent a person. The Emperor in the verse normally means that things have spiraled out of control. It could mean that someone is being a bit of a control freak, or this could be a poor husband, like a person who is not a very good male figure in your life, like normally a husband, because the Emperor complements the Empress. So then now you have the Nine of Cups. I'm going to clarify what that is. Nine of Cups in the reverse, clarified by the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So now it seems like you either have felt codependent to maybe a person who is constantly working and constantly striving for some kind of perfection in themselves, or they can be very self-absorbed. This can be necessarily, maybe that Emperor in the reverse is this person also, this King of Pentacles, or this could be your energy after the period in which you have lost this emperor and now you're just basically burying your head in work, with a lot of negative emotions popping up along the way to kind of combat those. But what I do see here is that you have no longer chosen to give to potentially relationships outside of yourself. And what you're doing now is you're focusing more on the energies within, whatever it is that you can do to distract yourself from the loss and the disappointment and the heartbreak that came up in the recent past. So, Libra, hearts out to you if you did have to lose someone, but um, these things happen, and there's no real way to say it. But we do have to move forward with grace and style. And I think that you're able to do that as well, being the Libra sign, getting yourself back into balance. So, Scorpio, I'm going to go ahead and get through these. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do we need to know for the current moment? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do we need to know for the current moment? All right. So, first thing Scorpio needs to know. Okay, good. Nine of Pentacles. Second thing Scorpio needs to know. Nine of Swords. So we have two nines. Third thing, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Overall energy. Seven of Swords, and there's a lot of cards that popped out. I'm going to try to read all these cards. A lot of cards popped out for your main energy. So we're going to go through this. We'll talk a little bit about some of the things here. So we have the Seven of Swords right here, and then the Four of Cups. So this could be a sense of self-sabotage in which you have pushed away certain opportunities that were coming in. The Three of Cups normally follows, it precedes the Four of Cups. You have periods of time where you are interacting with people, your social networks and things like that. And then all of a sudden this fourth cup comes and you're just petered out. You're not really interested in any more offers. So maybe sometimes what they talk about, I think Menno Pontero mentions that you keep receiving all these negative cups. And on the fourth cup, you're just kind of like, no, because I want to preserve my emotional stability. Emotional stability being the number 4 in the Four of Cups. So what this talks a little bit about, Seven of Swords moving to the Four of Cups. Maybe in the past you felt that people have sabotaged your best efforts, or that people were not being forthright, honest, and forthcoming with you. Now you're kind of pushing those people back and trying to say, I need some time alone. I don't really want to focus on this anymore. What you're doing also could be self-sabotage within yourself, making you kind of miss out on opportunities. But I would normally say that that's more in the Four of Cups in the reverse, if I was to see that. You then have the Queen of Wands, the Ten of Swords in the world. So something is absolutely ending in your life. The Queen of Wands normally can talk about, again, being able to attract the right things in your life, taking the initiative to make things happen. And it could be that you're putting something to end definitely. Ten of Swords in the world together, that says everything about this is dead, done, and over with. We're done. It's time for us to move on. And with the Ten of Swords, it's normally an intellectual issue where things get just as bad as they can. Ten of Swords can also indicate a betrayal, which with the betrayal, it can show all the knives in your back that people have placed within your within your daily life. Whether you've been working with colleagues who have repeatedly stabbed you in the back, or you've dealt with a person who maybe was a Queen of Wands, and that Ten of Swords in the world could show that you're finally putting this person to rest as far as their role in your life. Sorry, I'm going to take some coffee here. So, first off, Nine of Pentacles. We're going to clarify the Nine of Pentacles with the Eight of Cups. What you're doing is you're moving away from all of the things that you had to face in the past. You're pushing those things away. You have left that situation in order to become more, financially or, life-wise independent. You're finally stepping more into a role in which you say you don't really need anyone else's help or support. You've got everything that you need. This is pre-Empress energy, in which it talks a lot about the way that you pursue your sense of self-worth, your finances, your assets, material resources, things of that nature. So it's the single and ready to mingle kind of card. Let me just do my own thing. Let me travel. Let me go places. And I don't need to worry about depending on or relying on someone else. So you have the Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords in the reverse, clarified by the Queen of Swords. Again, you're no longer giving to things that are stealing from your energies. You're cutting out all the psychic vampires, and the Queen of Swords energy is very prominent in my chart as well. I have Mars, Pluto, and Saturn, all in Libra, and they normally stand, right in the middle of the chart, in the upright position, and that's basically the Queen of Swords holding her sword, saying, "If you approach me, you better be telling the truth, otherwise I'm cutting you out." So this is helping you to get over the issues within your life. Nine of Swords plus one is the Ten of Swords, which showed up in your main energy. Finally, we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm going to clarify that. The Empress in the reverse. Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, and then the Empress in the reverse. There's a strong feminine energy that is feeling like they're not able to really attract or achieve the things that they need to do in order to create a new life for themselves. So if you're struggling with cutting things out, I mean, if you're having an easy time cutting things out and finding out what comes next, it's important for you to have the confidence in order to know that you can attract what it is that you want to receive in the next phase of your life, because you are in the world card, which means that you're leveling up. So in doing this, try not to be too off balance or be all over the place, or not being able to take care of your material basic needs, your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as well as your own personal power. Know that you are capable of achieving and attracting the things that you want in your life, despite having to get rid of the things that you no longer want in your life. This is going to be critical for you in this next phase. So that's Scorpio. Moving on to Saggy. Again, Sagittarian ascendant here, which indicate all of the crazy travel that I like to do. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The first thing. The second thing Sagittarius needs to know. The third thing Sagittarius needs to know. All right. Overall energy. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, I saw this in your previous reading, and this had a lot to do with. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this. You have the Sun, and then the Page of Swords in the reverse. This is your main energy. So what this talks a lot about, things not being clear, no communication actually coming in, and more so than anything else, feeling a bit potentially depleted because something has not shown up yet. So the Page of Swords in the reverse, what this can talk about is normally a person who wields their sword in a very immature manner, similarly to the Knight of Swords, but even in a lower level of maturity. So with the Sun and the Page of Swords, the Page of Swords clarifying that, we have basically, I get that you're waiting on a message because we do have in the recent past Three of Wands in the reverse, meaning that your ships have not come in or that you're no longer expecting them to come in. Clarifying the Three of Wands, the Five of Cups in the reverse. You're trying to get over the disappointment of this issue where you felt like something that you really wanted, or something that you really cared about was going to arrive. Normally, in the Three of Wands, the person is sat by the harbor waiting for those ships to arrive because he knows that they are going to be there. But unfortunately, in this case, it does not seem like that. So this has kind of set you off and made you feel a bit bitter. This is Queen of Swords in the reverse. As I said, I do have Queen of Swords in my chart quite heavily, but then you have the star here that came out with that as well. So while you're feeling bitter about the things that did not materialize, you do feel hopeful, and that that in that you are receiving these things, even if you have to take your own path, because normally the star is a guiding principle. It is the North Star, which then allows people to reach their hopes and dreams. And it's kind of like the divine guidance that is given to people. It can also represent healing from certain situations as well, because in the traditional Rider Waite, you have a level of vulnerability with the naked woman who is pouring cups or pouring pots into the water and to the earth, which indicates kind of balance. Finally, you have death here, which signifies that for you, there's a major cycle ending. This is going to throw you off balance because you do have the temperance in the reverse. Maybe you're becoming it. Maybe you're becoming impatient for something to end. So if it's like you've been waiting for a message or waiting for something to come in, and it's not happening, you're just like, let's just kill this already. We have the Tower reverse. Yeah, avoiding. So there are three major arcanas in the near future taking place, and this is a significant event. We have the death, temperance, and then the Tower. If I'm not mistaken, these cards follow each other, right? What do you think? Death card's 13, temperance is 14. No, no. So Tower comes after the devil. So that's what's missing. These are processional order, but it is the Tower that comes after the devil. Tower is card number 16, devil's 15. We do have cards 13 and 14. So that's what's missing in all of this. So all of the periods in which you felt stuck, essentially, held back, restricted in this particular cycle, this is coming to a swift end. And so what is going to be the result of this issue for Sagittarius? I'm going to just go ahead and clarify this. What is going to be the result? Okay. The result is the Lovers, which indicates a major decision coming in. What is the decision related to? Seven of Wands and the Three of Swords. Yeah, you're just no longer going to. You're no longer going to give to something that takes too much of your own personal time and attention. It's like when you fight for something that you step back and you ask yourself, why are you fighting for this? And then you just let it go. You're just like, nah, I'm not really interested in this anymore. It's like I'm fighting a lost cause. And you don't want to be a person who fights a lost cause. Anyways, whether that's work or relationship related, you'll be able to know that best through whatever's taking place in your life. On with the Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Capricorn, what's coming in Capricorn's life? Sun, Moon, Rising. The beautiful thing about Sagittarians, from a personal experience with them, is that they don't really stick around to wait on anyone who is taking their time. They are probably one of the best signs in the entire zodiac, which can say, you know what, screw that, done. On to the next journey. Kind of very Knight of Wands energy there, but they see what it is, they see it for what it is, and then they just move on. And they find something new to set their sights on, and that's it. And I kind of get that. I got that energy quite a bit for that reading. What's the first thing that you need to know? King of Swords in the reverse. Second thing you need to know. Three of Pentacles. Third thing you need to know. Knight of Cups. What is the overall energy here? Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Cups, which indicates rejecting certain things, sometimes feeling rejected, depending on who's on the receiving end of that. We have the Seven of Pentacles clarified by the Five of Swords, both in the reverse. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse talks a lot about no longer wanting to invest in something that you feel is not really worth it. It's kind of like the juice is not worth the squeeze. It's kind of another thing that Men of Pawn talks about. The Five of Swords in the reverse, clarifying that, is that you felt there's been a lot of brutal competition between people. Maybe if you own a business, this has been the way it's materialized in your life. In the recent past, you've had the King of Swords clarified by the Strength, and King of Swords in the reverse clarified by Strength. It means that you're kind of having to hold back from someone that has been kind of brutal, authoritarian in their way. So maybe if this is manifesting within yourself, you may have had to rein in your own brutal tendencies to kind of just get things at any cost. That can be a very difficult thing for people to deal with. Otherwise, if it's an external person, this is the King of Swords that you've had to deal with, and you're holding yourself back from approaching and fighting back against this person. However, you have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles clarified by the Magician. You're not really sure if you're going to be able to manifest this new thing, but you are working with your networks again. Three always being the number of expansion, with the Empress being the one that rules the number three. But in the earthly realm, Three of Pentacles normally talks about working with people in order to achieve a practical or pragmatic goal. So it's almost like you're not really sure how to approach this with the Magician in the reverse, but you're going to do it anyway. So it's kind of feel the fear and do it anyway kind of card. I do see a positive outcome with this because you have the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Cups, and then the Eight of Pentacles clarifying this spread. So this talks about you being able to move forward, knights being cards of movement, moving forward with a lot of hard work that will help you to achieve your goal. So what will be the ultimate outcome of that? Three of Cups. Great. So there you have it. So that is basically you finally being able to come into a period in which you can have a positive outcome, a reunion or a reconciliation with whoever it is that you are at loggerheads with, even if it is a competitor or a rival. So that's pretty much it for Capricorn. Got two more signs, and then we're gonna wrap it up for today, because after reading for nearly an hour, it can make your throat dry up. We're going into Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising. Aquarius. Sun, Moon, and Rising. up here. I hope people can hear me because I'm using Google Pixel Buds again, and I hope it doesn't keep cutting out the noise. First thing Aquarius needs to know, Six of Wands, very good. Second thing Aquarius needs to know, Ace of Wands, also very good. Third thing they need to know, the Pentacles in the reverse, also very good. What is the overall energy? Okay, we've got three cards. Eight of Cups, Six of Pentacles in the reverse, Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. So you have left something. You are leaving something that is no longer serving its purpose. You have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. You're no longer giving to it, and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. You're no longer working on it. So essentially, 6 plus 8 goes to, let's see if I can get my maths right, 14. 1 plus 4 is 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, which you do have in the final card. So that's the numerology behind it. But we're looking at the 8. We're looking at whatever it is that you're no longer working on. You have moved away from emotionally, being the Eight of Cups, and you're no longer working on it in the material world, which means that you're no longer investing in it, no longer giving it time, energy, or effort. Firstly, Six of Wands, excellent card if you want to talk about um, feeling like you've had a bit of a victory. And the Six of Wands, again, clarified by the Knight of Wands in the reverse. So if it's had to deal with someone that you were in a relationship with, they were causing issues, stress, chaos, and they were not being consistent or being flighty, you've had a victory over that issue. But it can also be like you kind of tackling your own issues yourself, maybe taming that Knight of Wands energy in the past or that was present within you. Now you're having a Six of Wands moment where you're moving forward. You're having the victory, but what comes next? And this is what I tell people. You have the Five of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands. Between every victory is a war, being ready to fight again, being ready to get fought again. So you can never rest on your laurels when it comes to these sorts of things. And this is my heavy is the head that wears the crown type part of the reading. In order to maintain victory, there's going to be a fight before and after that victory. And the Ace of Wands here is the next part. You're having a new start, something else you're setting your mind on, but is not quite clear at this particular point. You're probably having to use your intuition to navigate this next phase of your life. With this Ace of Wands, you're going to take it, run with it, and you're going to get back into that Page of Wands energy in order for you to set out on your new adventure. So remember, opportunity is grasped by the individual, and then that person then grows that to fruition. Then we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm going to actually clarify that because you have the Ten of Wands reverse. So this is about getting over a difficult period in your financial life or in your period of stability. So what I see you doing, maybe you've probably landed a job, you've been able to have a new phase in which maybe you're getting more attention for the things that you do. If you have decided to become entrepreneurial and you're now trying to find out the new kind of aspects, the new ways that you can advertise or put this out in the open for people to see. And that can actually bring you back into, back into the black, as they say, because in the red, maybe if you invested in this business, then it's kind of, you had a lot of expenses to deal with, but now you're kind of out of that financial hardship, being able to move into the next phase and saving your finances. That's really good. I hope that your investments pay off well, and best of luck, Aquarius. Finally, we're moving to Pisces, last but not least. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is taking place for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Give it one more shuffle. A bit of thick energy is happening with you, Pisces. So I'm going to see exactly what's going to come out. Bottom of the deck, we do have the Lovers, so it's probably a choice. First thing, a lot of Piscean energy here. We have the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Second thing, Ace of Wands in the reverse. And the third thing, Five of Wands in the reverse. And Eight of Cups. Excellent. What is the overall energy for this specific reading? Clarify that. So you have a 5 and a 10 twice in your reading. You have the 5 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles. You have the 5 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. It's very interesting. This is moving from a period of change into a period of completion, 5 to 10. The reason why 5s are so difficult is because you have to go through a lot of changes within that element. And normally leaving the things behind that created the stability in the 4 are moving into the 5, which then go into the 6, which is more balance. So then we have here the 5 of Swords and the 10 of Pentacles. Whatever you dealt with in the recent, whatever you dealt with, there was a lot of conflict, burden, difficulties, which then kind of knocked you into a period where maybe there was a domestic dissolution, maybe a divorce, things of that nature, because Ten of Pentacles talks about the family life in the material world and basically the legacy that you leave. So it can represent one of two things. You had a lot of people sabotage your efforts with the Five of Swords, and now that's created a fall from grace, or you've had conflict and domestic strife with someone that has then led to a divorce. So you are currently feeling right now is the Ace of Cups and recent past, you're feeling the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Cups. What these two talk about is replenishing your well of abundance, your well of emotional fulfillment. So with the Ace and the Queen normally has a large cup, to say the least. I don't know what else to really call it. Chalice, if you want to say. But what she does is she normally talks about being able to reflect, being able to nurture, and to be able to respect the emotional energies that she gives to other people. With the Ace of Cups, she has now come back into abundance, filled that cup back up, and now she's holding it and cherishing it after this period of domestic strife or after this period of betrayal. Ace of Wands in the reverse. Magician in the reverse again. This keeps coming out, and I keep shuffling these cards. We have Ace of Wands. It's very difficult to have this new start. And then the Magician in the reverse. It's all about, will I be able to do this? Do I have all of the tools that I need at my disposal in order to make this happen in my life? And one thing that can be very difficult about setting out on a new journey, if I'm not mistaken, I told this to Cancer, after you leave something behind, Scorpio also had this as well. After you leave something behind, it's important for you to know all the tools are at your disposal. Whatever it is that you have within your life, you'll be able to make new things appear and manifest and materialize the things that you want, your desires. But you have to start with the things that you have, build and grow those, and then you'll be able to have more and more. And that's how you create the abundance, using the seed that you plant with the tools that you have already. Because remember, the fool is got on his back a knapsack, and then he becomes the magician after he opens that and then puts out his altar, and then he's got a sword, he's got a pentacle, he's got a wand, and then also a cup. So 5 of Wands in the reverse, and then moving to the 10 of Cups. You're again stepping into new modalities, moving from a place of change with the actions that you're taking right now. 5 of Wands in the reverse. No longer getting into a place of strife, but a place of peace, and that's what's going to bring your 10 of Cups. So if you have had a setback, like a kind of divorce or a kind of breakup or a dissolution of a partnership of some sort, due to conflict and strife or a lot of changes that have created circumstances beyond your control, you can then move into a place of better peace. So that is pretty much what I'm reading for today. Spoken a lot, I've babbled quite a bit, but thank you so much for joining. This has been Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell again so that you don't miss any updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like a personal reading with me, one that is in tune with your specific energies and not the energies of the collective, feel free to reach out to me at the information provided at the description box below. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. And once again, I am reading from, I have to remember here. It's Witch's Cafe. I'll put the information back in the comments box, but it's been a lovely venue. It's a lovely place to be too. And all the best from Liverpool, and see you next time. Bye now.